Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. We have the Defenders. The Defenders are back in town. Are they worth it? Are they worth it? Right now, I can't tell you if they're worth it or not. I could talk about the tank because I don't know exactly the price. I mean, on my list, it's got from 7,500 gold to 22,500 gold. So there's also a 8,500 gold in there. This could be completely wrong, and it could come for money, but as far as I'm aware, they are coming for gold. So you might be able to get one for 7.5, or you might be able to get all three of them for 22.5k gold. Now, 22.5k gold, is it worth having all three? If it is all three. If you look back at the prices of these tanks, especially the IS-3 Defender. So in this list, we have the T28 Defender, the IS-3 Defender, and the Mark 1 Defender. So if they all come together as part of a bundle, is it worth spending all that gold for all three tanks? Now, looking back in the past, you would say yes. You would say yes for the three tanks. That is a good price. And I suppose it is a pretty good price for three tier 8 tanks. If, like, bear in mind, if. Because I don't know if they are coming all together. But I'm assuming they will be part of a bundle. So, the first up, the T28 Defender. Now, this is actually a TD. Obviously, they are auto-loaders. I don't really... You shouldn't be playing this as a TD. This, for me, isn't a TD. It's a heavy. It's a heavy all day long. But you shouldn't play it as a TD. It's not got bad armor. It's got quite good armor. Against tier 9, not so good. Against tier 7, then, yeah, it's got quite good armor. I prefer this than the IS-3 Defender. When this first came out, I actually really enjoyed playing this tank. I actually really liked it, but the novelty wears off. The novelty wears off with some tanks. I mean, if you buy a tank and you have a couple of games and you do good in the tank, you're like, yeah, this actually, you know, this tank's pretty solid, pretty good tank. But after a while, the novelty wears off, and the T28 Defender is like that, and I don't enjoy playing the tank. It's not a bad tank by all means. It's not a bad tank at all, but I just don't really enjoy it so much playing this tank. Now, me and Fizzy run a few games on his stream the other day, and we thought, you know what, we'll run double T28 Defender, and you know, it's pretty good. If you run double, you can run a T28 Defender and an IS-3 Defender. If you work together, I mean, this game we've actually not worked together at all, but if you work together, you've got a 6-shell autoloader coming at the enemy, so which isn't bad. You've got, what, a 7-second reload in between each shell, 6.7, sorry, and you're doing around the 400 damage mark. So it's not so bad. 6.7 in between each shell, I don't think is too bad. I don't think it's too bad at all. But being an autoloader, the DPM isn't the greatest. Now, next up, I mean, this is probably my favourite, the Mark 1 Defender. This is probably my favourite. It is a auto-loader again, but it's a medium, and it has the 4 shells instead of the 3. Now, this tank, if this comes separately, I'd say for less than, say, 10k gold, maybe 8.5k. If this comes for around 8.5k, then I would actually definitely recommend this tank. This is a fun tank to play, and it is actually better than expected. I didn't expect it to be so good, but I absolutely love this tank. It's really a really good tank. You can get the bounces. Of course, you can get some bounces. You can't really rely on those bounces, though, but you can. I mean, you can see here we're bouncing everything. We bounced 900 already right at the beginning of the game, so that just goes to show that you can bounce. You can bounce, no problem whatsoever. And we've done we missed a shell on one of the tanks, so we've only done 762 damage so far, but now we can, I mean, the reload in between each shell is 2 seconds, so you got a 2-second intra clip reload, which isn't bad at all, and then you've got, what I think it's around about a 16-second reload. So I definitely prefer this than any other Defender, and as I've said, it looks quite cool. I do think all the Defenders look quite cool. Some people are not are not for these made-up tanks, but no, this is a pretty good tank. It's a pretty solid tank, not bad pen. It's got good accuracy, good aim time. And I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I mean, this game, so far we've blocked 985. We've done 2k damage, nothing special. We do lose a little bit of hit points there, but at this stage in the game, when there's only 3 tanks left, we're not so bothered. And the only tank I've now got in my mind, on my radar, is the Borzik. And you can see we've already loaded up the HE. We want to get to that Borzik before our team does, and just farm some damage from him. But then in the end, you know, we're going to go for the EXP. We're going to ignore the Borzik, and we're going to go for that EXP because he wasn't looking, and I thought, you know, I could get around him, but he turns just as I get there. We've got one more shell left, and hopefully I will be able to get around this corner. We do get shot, so we are now a one shot. We are on a big reload, so I'm going to wait, and then we're going to think, right, okay, let's go towards this Borzik. Hopefully he bounces, hopefully I can get a ram, and that's exactly what we do. And I need to now turn around and hope for the best from this EXP, and luckily for me, he does low roll. We still have 3 shells in our magazine, so we are able to get the kill. So 4 kills that game, nearly 1,000 block damage, which is pretty cool for a medium tank, and we end up on 3k damage. Not a bad credit earner either, 65,000 credits for that, so not too bad at all. As you can see, Fizzy did a pretty good job there in the SU-130 PM. So last up is the IS-3 Defender. As I've said, this is probably my least favourite out of them all. And it's not a tank I really enjoy playing now. Back in the day when this was first released, it was insane. It was insane. It was the first of its kind, and it was just insane. Bear in mind, you had +2, -2 matchmaking back then, so you would see tier 6 tanks in this thing, but you'd also see tier 8 tanks, tier 10 tanks, sorry. But the tier 10 tanks, I mean, you could actually hold your own in tier 10 with this thing, easy. Up against E100, you used to be able to hold its own because the armor on this thing is so troll. There's no sort of red hit markers, so people think that they can pen the front of your plate and then it bounces, and it triggers people. It triggers me when I'm aiming at a defender, aiming at a grey area. You shoot and it bounces, and that is probably the best thing about this tank. As I've said, the DPM is pretty low, but most of the autoloader tanks are low DPM anyway, so you have to pay attention to that and not get caught out, because once you're on a reload, I mean, we're going to be on a 20 or 23 second reload once you have shot all your 3 shells. So bear that in mind. 23 seconds for a heavy tank is a long time, a very long time, especially when you've only got 1,700 hit points and you're up against medium tanks, light tanks with great DPM. Bear that in mind about that 23 second reload. Now, the accuracy, it is like a Russian accuracy. The accuracy isn't the greatest of the thing. The penetration isn't the greatest either. It's just a typical Russian heavy, with bad accuracy. I mean, we get that shot there. We have got our ammo rack damage. So again, just pay attention when you're on. I mean, we had our ammo rack damage there, and we were on like a 36 second reload, or 38 second. That's what can you do with 38 second reload? So I've still got another 15 seconds, 12 seconds until I can repair that, so there's literally nothing I can do. But so far, because of the angles we was at then, we bounced 1,605 damage in quick succession, and we've pumped up to 2,900 damage, and only 3 tanks left alive. Now, the Chrysler missed the T69, so we're going to go, we can take a shot from pretty much any tank that is on the field, but Fizzy's a one shot. I thought he was going to get shot there, but lovely shot. He loves the Charioteer. The Charioteer is actually a really good tank, and it's actually a tank that I do need to review again. The last review of the Charioteer was actually done by Fizzy on my channel, but it's still a great tank. It used to be one of the most broken tanks in the game, but it's still a good tank, and I still enjoy playing it. It's Fizzy's favourite tank, I think, in the game, and he does a really good job this game. So now we have just the IS-5 down here. Fizzy's gone chasing the medium tank, and As we know about Russian tanks, the side, yeah, that was a bounce. So we want to get behind him because we don't want to risk any more freaking bounces. 414, not the best of rolls. Nice roll there from Fizzy. We've got 1 shell in our magazine, and we are going to get the kill. So 2 kills there, and it just now leaves the Type 62. And as you can see, Fizzy is on his way. We've got 2 kills. Fizzy's got 3 kills. We're winning on supremacy points, so we should just we should clear this no problem whatsoever. So Fizzy's just going to go up there, and he is going to spot that Type 62 dragon, and I was actually secretly hoping that the dragon will kill him, but no, Fizzy does his job. He gets the kill. 4 kills. He does a really good job, and he actually gets the ace, so well-deserved ace. But we finished on over 1,000 block damage on a first class, 3,400 damage, and a nice amount of credits. So that is the Defenders. Is it worth it? Again, personally, I only think the Mark 1 is worth it. But the others are a bit boring now, and they're nothing new. I mean, you can have them all day long in any other heavy in tier 8. They're pretty much the same. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon. With